Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Angela Dryden here, and I want to talk to you a very quick, very simple way of looking at how to become an observer of our thought versus getting involved in our thoughts and negotiating with ourselves and doing all those things that our mind is so clever at doing. In fact, it is designed to protect us. And so it constantly is giving us ideas that are keeping us from growth, not because it wants to keep us from growth, but because it was designed to keep us comfortable and keep us safe. So it thinks that doing something that it's never done before is scary. It has fear attached to that. And all these things that come up for us, a lot of emotions that come up when we start to have thoughts and we are attached to those thoughts. And so detaching from thoughts is actually what I do as a life coach. I help my clients walk through a process in which they start to become an observer of their thinking in a way that is helps them to start see clarity and actually start to catch themselves when they are trying to excuse or justify or prove or having a sense of trying to over explain something. So, how do we do that? How do we detach from our thoughts when our thoughts are so powerful? In fact, we believe that they are who we are. Like, I think this way, so therefore I am, instead of the actual truth is that our thoughts are just something that's been brought to our attention, whether by environment, whether by the way that we've chosen to view things, and we've formed into something, and now we are attached to it. And actually, it kind of attaches to our pride as well, which is the tough one. And it swings from pride to shame. Like we shame ourselves for not doing enough, and then we feel prideful in other things, and we think we're on top of it, and then all of a sudden we get slapped down again in shame. So there's a lot going on. But what I'm doing today is I'm trying to just simply go through a process that I actually practice as far as observing my thoughts on a daily basis. So one of the things I love to do is to do a thought download. So just like I've always loved the analogy of a pitcher of water, so a cup and a pitcher of water, and you're pouring the pitcher into the water. And in fact, you pour, 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 and it just starts to overflow and overflow. But you keep on pouring it and it's still overflowing, overflowing. You've got water everywhere. That pitcher is our thoughts on a daily basis. And so our thoughts, we are giving ourselves these thoughts and it's pouring and we almost feel overwhelmed. We feel anxiety. Things like that start to creep up for us as our thoughts start to take over and we start to attach to them and start to believe them on a sense of not necessarily consciously always believing them, but they're just there. And so they become part of that process. So what I do is when you have all these thoughts, right, these thoughts that you're pouring into it, is to do a thought download, which is that you get a sheet of paper. So for me, I've just got this journal and I wrote down my thoughts on this morning. So you have a piece of paper and thoughts that are going through your head. Sometimes there's a whole bunch, other times there's mismatch, and realize I've been doing this for a little while, but I still have thoughts that I catch myself and I go, oh, that's funny that I thought of it that way. And I want to dissect and go through. So I'm going to share with you my thoughts that I was having this morning. So I need to change my schedule. I should call my sister. I should call my mom. I'm going to complete my MailChimp and blog post. I need to do my blog. I need to reach out to 5 people today. My husband wants my attention. My garden needs my attention. I want 5 new clients. 2 days is not enough for coaching. No one is, and I didn't even finish that one. Why am I writing blogs? So here we go. I've got a list of things, of thoughts that were going through my head. For whatever reason, these thoughts were coming up and I was attaching to them something or another. And so I want to just take one of these thoughts and we're going to do what I like to call a model. So if you like this video and this information, I want to recommend that you go into my YouTube channel, and in there are 5 videos that I posted, short videos on self-coaching yourself. And it explains more detail in this model. This is going to be a simple, basic thing that I'm going to show you. But if you want to go a little bit deeper and kind of dissect some information about becoming an observer and what that shows up for you in your life, you might want to go and hit through my 5 videos that I have on becoming an observer and exploring your thinking. So here's my list. I have this list, and this is just kind of the beginning, just thoughts were rambling on, but then there was one that kind of struck me and I thought, okay, I need to digest this and just look into it more. But I want to share with you a little bit of my thinking process. So I said, I need to change my schedule. I should call my mom. I should call my sister. So right there, I can see on piece of paper as I wrote that down that I said I should and I need. And right there, those are coming from a scarcity mindset, whether it's a scarcity of time, that I don't think I have enough time to call my sister and my mom, whether it's, there might be something else attached to that, whatever that is. And then I need to change my schedule. So why is it that I feel like I need to do that? And why do I need to do that right now? Because my mind is telling me I need to, again, coming from a source of scarcity. So those are some things to kind of catch. You're like, okay. So anytime we say I should or I need, or I have to, like I put, I have to do my blog, again, coming from a sense of scarcity. And then I wrote something that was interesting. It was different than the others. It says, I need to reach out to 5, again, I need to reach out to 5 people today. So again, graspy, not quite there. You know, my mind's just putting these thoughts down. I put, my husband wants my attention. So again, feeling like I am at the mercy of that my husband wants my attention. So all of these things that are coming up for me are obviously from a sense of scarcity, which is very fascinating because I feel like a lot of times in my life that I live from a sense of that I have more than enough. But here it is right now, my thoughts are telling me these things and my thoughts aren't lying. Whether it's deep within me rooted or whether it's at the surface, there is something going on, that there's a need that these thoughts are meeting, that for some reason they're meeting what's called my short-term gain, when in reality, I want to shoot for the long-term gain. I don't want to just work on the instant gratification. I want the goalpost to be that there's something that I'm working towards and it's growing and I'm developing, that's happening. But here it is, these thoughts that I'm having. So I want to explore this one. It says 2 days is not enough for coaching. So for me, this is something that obviously I'm suggesting to my mind. So the circumstance is going to be my coaching. So coaching. So coaching is a circumstance. That is, there's nothing, my coaching business, right? So we can put my coaching business. So coaching business, that's the circumstance. So that's the beginning. That's usually going to be, there's no emotion stuff. But again, if you want to go into deeper information and understanding this, check out my 5 videos on that. Then we have the thought, which is what I wrote down. 2 days is not enough for coaching. So I put 2 days is not enough. Again, scarcity, right? It's not enough for coaching. So this was a thought that I'm having. Again, so here's my thought. 2 days is not enough for coaching. So when I'm thinking that 2 days is not enough for coaching, the emotion that comes to my mind is obviously scarcity, but there's other stuff that's coming up too. It's not necessarily scarcity. I would say that there's some frustration there that I'm feeling. I wouldn't say it's fear or it's anxious or overwhelmed. It's not, more like frustrated with myself. So I'm going to put, there's some frustration. So that's what I'm feeling when I'm having that thought, 2 days is not enough for coaching, frustration. So when I'm feeling frustrated, my actions are that I get sidetracked. I know that, right? I get sidetracked because I'm frustrated. So I'm doing one thing, but then I go to another. I jump around a lot on things. I'm not staying focused. When I'm frustrated, sometimes I don't even do. So I don't do, which is still an action, right? So doing and not doing, you're still performing an action. So I don't do, sidetrack, and I jump around. So my result is funny. It's exactly my thought, right? So my result that I'm getting is 2 days is not enough for coaching. I'm actually proving through these actions my thought. So my result is not enough time, right? Not enough time. And yet I want to feel as though I have enough time. I have more than enough time to do things. But right here, I'm actually proving my thought. So this is why doing a thought download is really important. It's not so that we can all of a sudden change this thought, because right, all of a sudden going and changing it, so putting on a different outfit, you might feel good for a little while, but you're still going to be the same you. And so what I like to suggest instead is that instead of completely changing this thought, let's start to make little steps or just a little tweak that might help you in gaining a different emotion, because the emotion is what's driving our action. And so when we start to just tweak it, so 2 days is not enough, maybe I could say, I have 2 days for coaching. So just even saying I have 2 days for coaching and getting rid of this not enough stuff. So 2 days for coaching. I could just say that, right? So I get rid of it's not enough. So I get rid of that just for a moment to kind of like cycle it. And I might be able to work and start a new model on that thought. So the most important thing on doing this when it comes to thought work is to begin by just writing it down. And sometimes we think, well, I don't know if I'm doing it right or if I'm writing it the right way. And understand that your brain is going to offer you those suggestions. Because again, remember, it's going to want to keep you safe and go, oh, you don't need to write that down, or oh, it's not that big of a deal. So it wants to do that. And it's doing that because it's unfamiliar territory. And then sometimes when we start to do it, we start to go, well, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. This is silly. This is a waste of time. And just realize that those are suggestions that are being brought to you. And you can take them or leave them, or you can just say, oh, that's just a suggestion. And just not necessarily take them or leave them, but just be aware of them and then continue going on and keep on writing. And don't try to stop it. And don't try to change that thought. Just allow it to happen and then continue your writing and your thought process. And what are the thoughts that you're having? And maybe sometimes they'll be incomplete thoughts. Sometimes they'll just ramble on. You'll think, where am I going with this? And that's okay. Fill up a page, fill up 2 pages, fill up 3 pages, whatever it takes on getting the thoughts out of your head and onto paper. And when we can start doing that, then we can start to kind of explore what's going on in a place of realizing that these thoughts are not you. Like, they don't make you who you are. You are already of value and worth the person that you are. These aren't making you, but these thoughts are creating results in your life. And we can explore those and see what the results we're getting and if they're the results that we want and things like that. But the most important part in doing thought down work is exactly doing that, getting the thoughts out of the head and onto paper. Then in using the model is a great way to just explore that thought. Doesn't mean you got to change that thought. Like I said, this is a suggestion that you're just making to do it, but maybe even sitting with this thought for a while and think, okay, why do I believe that 2 days is not enough? What's making me think that 2 days is not enough? And where do I go with that? And what does that look like for me? So exploring that for yourself is really the beginning part of creating awareness in your life and kind of seeing how it is you want to show up and what makes the most impact for you in your life. And really, it's you trying to master your own thinking process, the own power that you actually have, because our brains are amazing, and there is power within there when we can get all the other things out of the way. So we start to, because we attach to so much of our thinking, we believe that that thinking makes us, and that without that thinking, we are of no use. And when we start to see that actually the thinking is all these suggestions and these possibilities, and I get to form the own sentences the way that I want and the way that makes sense to me and what resonates to me. And that's my power within me, that I get to actually choose that and I get to make those choices. So when it comes to thought download, I really hope this is helpful for you, that you gain some insight with this, that maybe you can use a couple of the things that I've mentioned that might help you in the process, and realizing that getting it out of the head onto the paper is truly the first step. All this other stuff can happen, but sometimes just thinking at the beginning, what do I got to do right now? I just need to write this stuff down and just explore my own thinking and try to look at it in the sense of an observer versus that these thoughts came from me. That's these thoughts form me, and realize that these thoughts are just thoughts that I was having. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care of yourself. And I look forward to sharing another tip and another video with you coming up. If you enjoy this information, please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get my information and value that I love to share out into the world. And if you want to dive deeper into this, if you really want to create more of learn more skill sets on how to detach from that thinking process, from that relationship, from things within your business, stuff that's going on, so that you can perform at your highest level, reach out to me. I'd love to be able to help you and to show you ways that you can detach and show you your own thinking so that you can create the life that you want. All right, take care. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.